was going to do a second live stream today. That's pretty out of the ordinary for me, but boys, we have squats. It wasn't an April Fool's joke, it's real, and I don't know how I feel about it. So, to refresh anybody that didn't see the other one, we are commission painting some Imperial Knight stuff for my friend. And now I guess I have to talk about squats. Because I have some mixed feelings about this. I have some mixed feelings because I have a pirate squat army that I have been working on for quite a while, and I've been putting a lot of love and effort into. It is now at the stage where I have almost a full, like, playable army converted and primed, and I am just slowly painting my way through it. And then now, because I had thought for sure, I thought they were going to bring back squats. Sure, I 100% thought that. But I thought for sure that it would be either a kill team or maybe at most 3-4 units as like a guard supplement. You know, kind of like Scions, kind of like the Eldar got with the Corsairs, something like that. I did not think they would just be out of the blue, like, yep, squats are their whole own faction now. They never have been before. They've never had that many models before. The lore is that they are basically like dead. And that lore is like kind of what I designed my whole army around, was that these are remnant squats that escaped the destruction of their world. They're out for revenge against the Tyranids. That's why they've turned to piracy, to fund their, to recruit people, to fight for them, to fund those people that they need to help them, because there's not very many of them left. That was this whole thing. And then GW is like, no, there's actually apparently lots of them, and enough of them for them to be their own faction. Like, so I don't know how I feel about it, because as excited as I am for it, it's kind of like a little, not like a kick in the nuts, but like a little bit, because it's like they're kind of going back on their own lore, which I know they do sometimes, but like this time it was something that I was actually like, invested in a little bit. So it's like a little bit of a feel bad. It, like, I don't know, and it shouldn't be like this, but like it's just how I hobby, and it's just like what gets me excited. Like, I like doing the super niche weird things. Like, I can't tell you how many times when I'm making my Kroot army, like, I get people like, what even are the Kroot? I've never even heard of Kroot before. And like, it's fun for me to explore those factions or groups or models that don't get any love or support or whatever. So it's like a little bit. Sorry, I'm late. Penguin, God damn it, Penguin. Um, it's no worries, brother. So, did you see the squats, Penguin? Did you see we have squats now? That's what I was just rambling on about there for like 5 minutes while nobody was here. We have official squats now. You did, yeah. So this is like, my feelings are a little bit mixed about that, because of my squat pirate army. It's like, the whole reason I made the squat pirate army is because it's the whole, like, no squats. They're running from the Tyranids. Or no, sorry, not running from the Tyranids. They're like out to get revenge on the Tyranids. Like, their world was destroyed. And I built the army to play it as Tempestus Scions, with, the mixed races and the humans and all the other things in there. And now GW is like, no, not only is there lots of them, like, they actually have their own whole faction and everything. So it's kind of like, ugh. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just try to like add them to the army somehow. I don't know if I should look at kind of redoing some of the army so that it works. Also, do we need another army? We already don't get enough models from the armies already in the game. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. So it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that it's something like so cool and unique. And like, I genuinely love Space Dwarfs. I genuinely think it's cool. I think this will be awesome. But I agree with you, and I honestly did have that thought too. And I'm not usually one to be so salty, but I was like, fucking none of the chaos, like Chaos Marines, any of the Chaos Demons, the chaos like Chaos hasn't even got their books and stuff yet. Fucking Chaos Marines haven't even got their second wound yet, and the squats have come back. Like, that's how long it's been, like, since everybody else is getting it. And like, there's so, like you just said, there's so many factions that need updates still. Like, the Eldar update was great, but there is a lot of models in that range still that look like absolute dirt and need an update desperately. Tyranids aren't too bad, but there's definitely a couple, like the Lictor, the Biovore, the Pyrovore. Those are all old-ass resin models. Um, there's at least a couple for pretty much every army except maybe like Space Marines that could really use that love and that attention. So to just randomly out of left field, not just do, like, I was so convinced that it was going to be like a squat kill team. And I would have been so down with a squat kill team. I would have been so down with a couple squat units or models that you can just add into your guard army. Like how you used to be able to. You would have squats in with the guard. That made sense to me, and I was like totally happy with that. And now they're like, oh yeah, they're their whole own faction. They're gonna get their whole own book. Like, I really, really hope at least that they do. I hope they do every other existing faction before they do the squats, because that would just be very. It's like, the way they're doing it, they're making it like not cool. Like, in my opinion, they kind of should have been like a couple units with the guard, and then if they sold really well, if they were really popular, then they can always put out like a supplement or something that lets you take them as their army, and then over time they build it up. Their armor looks a little Tau. Yeah, I kind of thought that too, and I think I saw someone comment that like, there is like a little bit of lore about Space Dwarves being with the Tau, or like some of them being with the Tau. So I bet you someone, maybe even you, will kit bash some of them to be with the Tau. I think some little chunky guys like that, they could probably be like stealth suits, right? Stealth suits are kind of chonk already. Anyways, I don't know, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know how I feel about it with regards to my Space Pirate army. It kind of makes it feel a little bit like, what was the point of making a really unique Space Pirate army that's led by squats if then the squats have their own faction, their own stuff anyway? Because then it's like, well, why didn't I just use those models and make an actual squat army that are pirates? Like, I don't know. I'm probably too salty about it. The model looks really cool. I'm sure it'll be really cool. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm very interested to see what they do with the lore regarding it, how they plan to swing it, that the squats aren't in fact all being eaten by Tyranids right now, like we all thought they were for forever. Are they going to be like, oh yeah, it turns out there was a secret other empire of squats and only the one got nommed, the rest of them are okay? Or maybe they are going to be like, kind of like the Eldar, where there's not that many of them left, and these are like remnants that are out for revenge. Kind of like my idea for mine. Confirmed, GW stole their idea from me. Certainly possible. Certainly possible. But like I said, the model did look really cool. I don't know if you were, I don't know if you saw Penguin, but did you get to hear what I had to say about the last episode of Hammer and Bolter? Because that was pretty wild, as far as Hammer and Bolter. I would like to see actual Corn Marines like Death Guard 1000. Well, allegedly, so Penguin, I don't know if you saw it, there's like a lot of rumors that, like, there's a lot, sorry, not rumors, a lot of like indications pointing that, like, just further confirming that that is coming, that the World Eaters Codex is coming. Namely that a lamb. Hey, dude, what's going on? We were just talking about now we're talking about World Eaters stuff, but um, talking about the new squat mini and stuff. The but yeah, so apparently the leaks are saying in the new Chaos Marines book, which is one of the next ones to come out, apparently there's no World Eaters in it, which that's always been the thing. World Eaters have always been a sub faction or whatever that you can take for normal Chaos Space Marines, but they are not in it anymore. All the other ones are in it. Night Lords are in it, Emperor's Children, Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, all that good stuff. But apparently World Eaters aren't. So if they're not in there, then where are they? Well, it would seem that they are going to get their own book. So that'll be pretty sweet. That'll be pretty sweet for me because obviously I have World Eaters Army that I've put a lot of love and effort into. And obviously, if that's the case and they're getting a new book, I'll probably be expanding it quite a bit. Hopefully we get some new Khorne Berserkers. That'd be pretty nice. I'd be pretty happy with that. I'm seeing now that I forgot to highlight one part of this. So, good job, me. Real professional commission painter here, guys. Definitely hire me to do your stuff. Everybody disregard that brush lick. I didn't do it, I swear. Oh, it's such a bad habit. So bad. So bad. But yeah, for sure, if they do World Eaters Codex like it's really seeming like they do, you guys can expect to see some pretty wild World Eaters kit bashes from me. Some more, sorry, because the whole army is pretty kit bashed. I actually am realizing now, I've done all these crew kit bash showcase army, like the whole army. I've never actually shown off my whole World Eaters army to you guys, I don't think. But it is similarly unique, let's say. A lot of wild stuff in there. I know I just did a showcase of my favorite Hellbrute that I did, that really creepy skeleton boy. But there's quite a bit on there. I know I've shown it off before, but my favorite, one of my favorites anyways, my Lord Discordant, that actually got a nice comment from Duncan himself. A couple of other of them have been shown off on some YouTube channels and stuff. Different people have talked about it, whatever. But yeah, I've always really liked World Eaters. I read the Horus Heresy books, like Betrayer and that, with Karn and Angron and all that, and their story is like, their fall to chaos is kind of more understandable in a lot of ways, and it's very tragic in some of them. In some ways, like, obviously, that's the thing. It's like they're still dicks. Like, they're definitely not great dudes. But like, you can kind of see how they would fall, as opposed to some of the other ones where they're just like, man, I want to be whiny and evil. And so now I'm going to stuff demons up my butt, or whatever they do, right? So I liked them for that. I liked their, and of course, like in those Betrayer books and stuff, Karn is such a G. He's a pretty cool guy. Should call him Karn the Bro instead of Karn the Betrayer. He's a pretty good character. Again, definitely not a good dude, but it's somewhat more understandable in those books why you would fall to chaos and why somebody could be pushed to do that sort of thing. We're going to do a Chaos Marines campaign, and it will be nice to have a third codex. Yeah, and I hope they have some like insane rules. Like, have you ever got to play against World Eaters in their current state, Penguin? Because like they actually, like, their rules aren't terrible. It's just that like the Chaos Marine like everything around it, like actual, like the Chaos Marine chassis, so to speak, is so like weak and stuff. It's kind of lame, but like World Eaters, like they definitely can kill shit. Like it's a lot of fun playing them. No, only Death Guard. Yeah, and like we're Death Guard are like super tanky. Like World Eaters are like at the moment, like because I play World Eaters, they're like super glass cannony. Like the one wound thing is it's so rough sometimes, but it's like if you do get to combat, you are going to kill almost anything. Like we always joke that like I get two fight phases because you will always, as a World Eaters person, you always save your CP for the interrupting combat because every single one of your units will basically win any combat. So like if your opponent charges you with more than one thing, you're like, okay, cool, you got your fight. Well, now I interrupt and I win that fight in your phase. So like basically every fight phase you're gonna be killing stuff. And you're gonna be having a good time, which is how it should be, of course. World Eaters being as they are. Being the bestest of evil boys. I thought I was going to get a lot more painting done today, and it is just not happening. I think I'm going to finish this night Gatling gun. I've just started doing like the highlights and details and streaking and shit. And now I'm just going to do like some cool fun details, like some little glowy bits and stuff. Yeah, the one wound is so rough. Like I'm not joking. Like a 5-man squad of berserkers, not even a big squad. A 5-man squad will kill almost anything if you pump the buffs into them. You can like just jack them up like crazy, but then they also will just die to a stiff breeze. So it's like they charge in there, they kill one thing, and then they die. So you hope that one thing they killed was worth it because that's all they're gonna get. But you get 2 wounds on those boys, and they start living a little more than they normally do, and it might just be a party. It might just be pretty cool. On all my night stuff, I do any part that might be glowy. I do like bright glowy green. I find bright glowy green on red really stands out well. So I'm just putting down the base green color just to get it started, and then I'll build up the highlights from there. Really, I should be doing this with a sponge, and I probably will switch here in just a second. I'm just a couple of the little like vents and stuff, you gotta fill it in with a brush first, and then you can do the more gentle sponging afterwards. How do you do glow stuff? So it depends on the glow stuff. There's a ton of different techniques and different things you can do. Basically, like when I'm doing glow stuff, I'm working with. I usually will pick three paints, right? So I'll pick like if I'm depends what color you're doing, but so if you're doing green, I'm gonna have my base green. What I was using is, let me find it here. Whoops, I just went through a paint. I was using this stuff as the base color of my glowy green, but it just dried up, so I'm improvising. Oh my god, I dropped another one. I'm improvising, and I'm using, as my base green, I'm using 50-50 of Castellan green and Moot green. And then as I build up the layers, I'll use less and less of this and more of this. And then the final layer or two, I will start mixing in some white to go even brighter. And what I'll usually do is like, I don't know if you can see very well, see like these little teeny vents? See if I can get to focus here. These little teeny vents on the gun. That's what I'm doing right now, as well as there's a couple of little spots down here. But so I'm like, I just put on that green first, let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to use, you can either dry brush, or sometimes I'll use a sponge, and then you sponge on your like highlight color, and then you do like, you work your way in, right? Like you use your darkest color is big, and your darkest color is the biggest one, and then as you get brighter and brighter, you get closer and closer and closer to your light source. And then finally, when I'm all done, I'm going to do my very brightest color. I'm going to take a really fine tip brush, and I'm just going to very delicately put it in those little spots. And what I usually do too is I use a green wash, and then that'll, you know, darken up the crevice around it, make it look more shadowed. It's kind of hard to explain. Maybe, you know, that's a good one, Penguin. I can probably do a little tutorial on Patreon. Remember how I did the little step by step with pictures for how I do like old bones? I could do a little tutorial for how I paint a couple different types of glowy stuff. Because like how I do a plasma weapon would be a little bit different. Like plasma weapons, if you want to do a lot of them, you can do it super easy with like dry brushing. And then if I'm doing like a really detailed one, then I'll do a couple other things, like on my Castellan's plasma gun, the Big Knight. That one I was a little bit more fancy on, but yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's tons of good tutorials online, but I can definitely do one for my own stuff. I think I saw another comment there. Sorry, it was from Alam. Welcome, Alam. I don't think we've ever had you in the chat before. Am I using a wet palette? No. So I never use a real wet palette. What I do though is I have like a plastic palette. I can move this and show you a little bit right there. I use like a a shitty little like painter's palette, and quite often I'm like freely mixing in there. But a wet palette is definitely good. It's definitely a good thing to get comfortable with. It will, it definitely will help in a lot of cases. I have used them before. I'm just lazy, and a lot of times I don't bother setting it up when I could, probably, or maybe should, probably. But yeah, the sponging of the highlights is really nice in these sort of situations. So I'm going to be, I don't want to have too much. I just want to be very gentle with it, because it like gives you that very I don't know, like I don't know how to describe it. It makes it look very glowy easily. Oh, for fuck's sakes! I used the end that I had already put black on, so I just sponged on some black in with my glowy green, like an absolute friggin' troglodyte. How is everybody's weather right now? Because in glorious Maple Syrup Land, we are in our second winter. You know, a lot of people, they only get one winter. We're so blessed and so happy to have two. And you know, everybody loves it. Everybody's super happy about it. It's a fun time. Fun time. Where it always tricks you. It's so cool where it'll be like, oh, here's like 3 days where you don't have to wear your winter coat, and then it's like, LOL, psych, 4 more weeks of winter. Pretty cool. It's like, what is it? It's the fucking first week of April, right? This is like deep into spring most places, and it was snowing today, and I think it was snowing yesterday too. Pretty ridiculous. Thanks, Obama. Obama up here giving us second winter. I know it. Know it was him. That's still a thing. People still say that, because people up here say that a fair bit. But obviously it's a little bit strange coming from Canadians. We say it as a joke, though. It's a joke. Yeah, I'll try to show you guys in a second what I'm doing here. It's kind of one of those things where like I just have to do it all at once. It's like if I stop and mess around, it'll be shit. And I did actually already mess it up a little bit, but that's alright. But he's perfect. Even though I am being paid to paint these. I realized too. I wonder how many subscribers I need before I can start claiming this as a small business and start writing off models as on my taxes. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm like, yeah, I had to buy the new squat army for work. It was for work. That's why I bought them. And then the wife can't get mad at me because it's just a work thing, right? Why are all these models in the house? You said you were done for a while. Well, you see, honey, this thing came up at work, and I had to buy more stuff. It's as simple as that. It's not my fault, right? It could be a good loophole. I wonder if the other creators do that. I'm sure they like. Sorry, not other creators. Like I'm the same as them. Like real creators. It's snowing for 5 minutes, then it's sunny, then it's raining for 10 minutes. Very odd weather in France. Oh, you're in France. Interesting. People from all over. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool to know that somewhere else is suffering like we are. Because that sounds just like what we're dealing with right now, where it's like it's different like halfway through the day. Which super annoying for me, as I've talked about lots of times. I'm like outside of Warhammer, I'm actually super outdoorsy. I like going hiking, camping. Uh, my kids love catching snakes and turtles and frogs and all that stuff. And obviously, if it's never-ending winter, can't really do any of that stuff. It's just my one kid's birthday, and she got like new creature catching gear and stuff, and she can't go out and use it because it just will not stop snowing for 5 minutes. It was a little bit too messy with my green sponging, so just tidying up a little bit. I think that's all right. All right, last thing to do is just put some of that green wash on there. Holy hard work. Hard work. But you guys ever done any commission stuff for people? Tomorrow I'm playing a game versus Elf Clowns. Oh, I missed another message. Have you ever tried yourself at freehand? Yeah, so I freehand a lot of. I've been freehanding more and more lately. So on the nights that I'm painting, I actually hate doing decals and transfers. I don't know. I just don't like them. So on my nights, especially my newest one, I've been freehanding a lot of the stripes and checker patterns and things like that. And then I also have recently decided to start a small orc army. And so I've been doing a lot of freehand with that. The only model I actually have painted is my giant custom Stampa. But I did a whole bunch of checkers on that. I wrote like orc graffiti on some of the guns and stuff. I wrote like Daka Daka and all that kind of stuff. So that sort of freehand I'm pretty comfortable with, and I think it looks good, like passable. I've never tried anything like too crazy. I've never tried to like freehand, like some people like they're like, ooh, this is my Death Guard Rhino, and I freehanded Mortarion onto it. I'm not that good, but I can do some stuff. Oh my God, what did I do? No, I somehow set this thing in like wet red paint. I don't even know where that came from. I must have set it on the brush. Oh my God. What an absolute freaking goober I am. Alright, I gotta fix that real quick. I will have to go back to work here in a moment. But yeah, I just wanted to make this other stream because I could not believe the squat news. I could not believe it. I had to talk about it. Um, it was pretty wild. If you guys wanted to hear about that last episode of Hammer and Bolter, just go watch the last live stream. I did a full like I talked through my whole thoughts on it. I know like people are probably like completely. I think people are like really over Hammer and Bolter, or not Hammer and Bolter, in Warhammer Plus in general. I think people have just like hard given up on it, and that's totally understandable because I basically have too. The only reason that I'm watching it is because I paid for the year in advance. So anything new that they put out, I'll probably still do like a little talk about with you guys. And basically that's just so like if you want to put the effort into like pirating it. Ooh, oh no, I shouldn't say. No, I shouldn't encourage pirating. That's bad, Zach. Yeah, if you guys want to go pirate it, you can come here. You can come here. You can get my reviews, and I'll tell you if it's even worth doing that effort. Um, but yeah, so if you want to know what I thought about that last episode of Hammer and Bolter, just go watch the last one, because nobody really showed up to chat, so I was just talking about that by myself for like 20 minutes. But basically, to summarize, I thought it was one of the best ones yet. It's their finale, so it seems they put some more effort into it than a lot of the other stuff. It was longer, the animation was better. It was like a very convoluted and weird story, and it's not necessarily the story or the characters or things that I care about seeing. But it was cool, and I have no doubt that a lot of people would like it. So, especially if you like Death Guard, it might be worth a watch to you. It would not be worth paying for Warhammer Plus to see it though. So definitely, if you do want to see it, go find it somewhere. I don't know where you pirate it from, but I know people have done it, so it can't be that hard. I think there might have been one message that I missed. Let me just check here. This is the tomorrow I'm playing a game versus Elf Clowns. Yeah, rip to you, Penguin. Assuming that's what that skull and crossbones is for. Yeah, that's gonna be rough, buddy. Good, best of luck. I heard that they are just like an absolute menace right now. So, I'll keep you in my thoughts, brother. You do us all proud. You beat those clowns. I don't know how you beat them, but you find a way. I believe in you. Yeah, so that'll be the last bit of streaming from me for the day. Thanks you guys for coming and hanging out. There will be another Kit Bash showcase video up sometime, I don't know, next couple days. If there's anything in particular that I've made that you would like to see that for, feel free to leave a comment anywhere that I will see it. Feel free to leave a suggestion of something I haven't done yet before. There is definitely a lot of stuff that I have not made a video on specifically. So, yeah, as my man just said there, have a good day, and talk to you guys later. Bye.